so punctual with the time. Um, we're well, today I'm here to speak with you about communication. Communication is something that is very close to my heart. Communication is something that ever since I was a child, I was interested to um, interested to understand, interested to learn about, and maybe someday master. So when it comes to communication, I am a work in progress, and I believe all of us are. I would like to share a story with you all. This is a personal story. This was a few years ago when I joined customer services as a communication specialist. I noticed that there everyone was very happy, you know, and it's hard to find places where people are happy and, they're not gossiping a lot. Whatever gossip is just to have fun. People like, jokes. People laugh on the jokes. The floor was so lively. Literally, you could smell happiness on the floor, right? So I thought to myself, why is that? Why is everyone so happy and themselves and communicating freely, sharing ideas? I realized that probably it's because of the leader, the department's head. But what about him that allowed people to be themselves? The head of the department had a gift, and the gift was communication. This guy did not always have the right words to say, but whatever he said, he intended. He had a way to get to people's heart. So communication is very important. And it doesn't mean that you always have to be apt and proper with your words and articulate with it. It just means that you have to be true to yourself when you're speaking to people. That's what communication is for me. I would like to ask you all to share what you think communication is. So please go to the chat and type in what communication means to you, what it is in one word, or what you think the definition is. How would you describe communication? Please go ahead and type it in the chat box. I'd be looking at the comments and reading them out for you all. Connection, lovely. Transmission, how interesting and technical also. Expressing your thoughts, beautiful. That's so true, Vakas. Then, of course, never a problem, right, Naila? It's a way of expressing. That's correct. To deliver your message effectively. How beautiful is that? That's so right and full of meaning. That's correct, Maria. To share your thoughts with another party. Tariq says conveying your message effectively. Very true. Delivering what's on your mind to others. Conveying your thoughts. Nice. Noman says that communication is what is understandable. That's also true. So I see a lot of you knowing exactly what communication is, what the purpose is. Working progress. Process. Okay, working process. Zishan, that's right. Conveying information. Right. Exchanging of information by speaking and writing. Interesting, Hasnan. That's nice way to look at it. But I'd like to share with you a few there you go. So many of you mentioned that it is conveying your thoughts. It's what you're thinking and saying it effectively, so the other person understands it. So it should be understandable. Exactly that. That is what communication is. So all of us know what communication is, but then I would like to ask you, have you or heard anyone say this? आप खुद ऐसा महसूस करते हैं कि कभी कभार आप सोचते हो कि यार ये जो मैं जितना भी काम कर रहा हूँ ये कहीं जा नहीं रहा? हाँ, या आप ऐसा सोचते हो कि मेरे काम, मैं करता तो सारा काम मैं हूँ लेकिन क्रेडिट किसी और को मिल जाता है? या आपके पास कोई आए और आके बोले कि यार रहने दो, इसको ना हम टीम में डिस्कस नहीं करते, हम खुद ही मैनेज कर लेते हैं। और क्या फायदा बात करने का, समझ तो बात आनी नहीं है। इस तरह की सिचुएशंस हम सब काम पर और बहुत बार अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में भी एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं। तो जब कम्युनिकेशन का डेफिनेशन मुझे पता है और आपको भी उतनी ही इफेक्टिवली पता है, तो फिर मसला कहाँ आ जाता है? वेयर डू वी फेस प्रॉब्लम कम्युनिकेटिंग? I would like to ask you to count the number of times in the last month you wanted to communicate something but it did not go as you wanted it to. कितनी बार ऐसा हुआ कि कम्युनिकेशन की इंटेंशन आपकी जो थी वो उतने अच्छे से कन्वे नहीं हुई, या जो आपकी इंटेंशन थी वो अगले ने वैसी ली ही नहीं? Twice. Okay, Irfan says that it happened twice in a month, in the last month. Right. 3 toys.
स्पॉटलाइट हटाने का बोल रहा है
Every weekend. Every weekend. I see a sir. Right. Toys. 4 to 5 times, maybe once, many times. Right. Usually when communicating with a senior, what an interesting, thing that you've said. Every month, right.
किसी के रिलेटेड कुछ होगा
2 times, 2 to 3 times last month, and this is on the top of your head. अब फौरन से सोच के मुझे बता रहे हैं कि 2 से 3 बार पिछले महीने में ऐसा हुआ कि जो बात आपने जैसे इंटेंट की थी वो अगले ने वैसी समझी नहीं। तो फिर इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि कहीं तो गड़बड़ है कम्युनिकेशन में, कुछ तो ऐसा है जो हम उतने इफेक्टिवली नहीं कर रहे जितने इफेक्टिवली हमें करना चाहिए। So let me tell you one thing, you're not alone. There is a survey that was conducted in this year. There was a survey, and I would really appreciate everyone if you can put yourself on mute. Thank you so much. So a survey was conducted this year only in 2022 on communication skills and its impact, where 97%, yes, that's correct, 97% of the people said that communication, either good or poor, impacts everyday tasks. 86% of the people said that communication is the reason why they faced failure in the workplace. Poor communication is the reason why they faced failure in the workplace. And at the same time, I see some of you typing in messages. I'm going to look at them in a while. At the same time, 28% people said that they could not meet their deadlines. They could not submit the work timely because of miscommunication. These are people who are actively accepting that communication is the reason why work did not go as they intended it to go. And let me tell you one more thing. If you invest on your communication skills, if you work on your communication skills, or the organization decides to work on your communication skills, 30% increased productivity है इस सर्वे के हिसाब से। So now you all must be thinking कि भाई कम्युनिकेशन पे जब से काम शुरू किया तब से कंपनी भी इन्वेस्ट करती है और हम भी कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में बात करते हैं, और हर बार लेकिन फिर भी कम्युनिकेशन की स्किल डेवलपमेंट की रिक्वायरमेंट या नीड जाहिर होती है। ऐसा क्यों है? क्या एम्प्लॉयज सीख नहीं रहे हैं? क्या ट्रेनिंग इफेक्टिव नहीं है? क्या ऑनलाइन कंटेंट कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स पे जो अवेलेबल है वो एफिशिएंट नहीं है या आउटडेटेड है? बट ऑल ऑफ दिस इज नॉट ट्रू. Communication skills, just like the trends that we follow, just like just like maybe fashion, it keeps changing and it keeps evolving. And just like technology, why look at technology. You don't pay attention to, or you don't upskill yourself in technology, and you tend to lose out on a lot of new information. You get outdated, right? Same is with communication. आप कम्युनिकेशन पे हर वक्त काम करते रहेंगे, तभी आपका कम्युनिकेशन जो है वो अपडेटेड रहेगा और इफेक्टिव रहेगा, राइट? टोयोटा में 2020 में एम्प्लॉय नीड्स का सर्वे हुआ था, एंड देयर इज नो सरप्राइज कि उसमें जो सबसे बड़ी नीड निकल के आई थी वो एम्प्लॉयज की कम्युनिकेशन स्किल डेवलपमेंट थी. So it's still relevant. It still needs to be worked on, and I think for the rest of you know entirety, I think we will have to be working on it continuously. I'm a work in progress, like I told you, and every day I learn something new there. Every day I learn a new technique, a tip, a new perspective to communication, so on, right? So talking about skills and upskilling your soft skills and technical skills, I have a question for you. Can you name some of the soft skills that are in demand in the future, in the next 10 years or 5 years, that are going to be really needed? Some of the soft skills, if you can mention. Go ahead and type, please. Looking forward to it. All right. Emotional intelligence, very well said. Communication, artificial intelligence, definitely. Stress management, right. Teamwork. Bravo, guys. I mean, you're really like, up to date with what skills are required. Time management, yes, that's very true. Leadership, data science, perfect, awesome. Positive thinking, decision making, work-life balance. I am so, I'm actually pleasantly surprised that you guys are so focused and you know what is needed, what skills are needed. Perfect. FinTech, that's correct. Problem solving, conflict management. That's absolutely correct. These are all skills that are needed in the future to stay relevant, to succeed. Communication, negotiation skills. Right. Never gets old, huh? Creativity. That's true. Creativity, very important skill. Etazaz, I see you typing in a lot of relevant skills there. Perfect. Leadership skills, right. So again, according to a survey, these are some of the skills. And all of you have mentioned all of them. How nice is that? So I don't see communication skills here. There's critical thinking, there's emotional intelligence, data-driven decision-making, creativity, but I don't see communication. Why do you think communication is not there? Definitely, Zishan. इसके बाद आपको ये presentation available करवा सकते हैं. Let's see what we can do there. So back to the question, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think communication is not one of the skills? Okay, let me tell you why. Because communication is the underlying theme to all the skills. भाई डेटा है और डेटा आपको बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल करना आता है, राइट? आप एक्सेल फाइल्स भी बहुत अच्छी बनाते हैं, ग्राफ्स अच्छे बनाते हैं, आप डेटा की पूरी साइंस समझते हैं. But how are you going to convey that science to other people? How are you going to convince? How are you going to present that data? Through communication, right? So communication is extremely important, is the most important skill, in my opinion, that all these skills need. So it's the foundation for all the skills that are needed in the future. जितना AI develop होता जा रहा है, जितना AI easily available होता जा रहा है, और कॉम्प्लेक्स होता जा रहा है, उतना ह्यूमन कम्युनिकेशन, ह्यूमन कनेक्शन की इम्पोर्टेंस बढ़ती चली जा रही है, राइट? So when we talk about these skills and we talk about communication, तो कम्युनिकेशन में फिर ऑफ कोर्स हम सबको कुछ चैलेंजेस भी फेस आते हैं, जो कि हम ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस पे उनको महसूस करते हैं। आप और मैं, हम सब एक ही तरह के चैलेंजेस होते हैं, जिसकी इंटेंसिटी किसी के लिए ज्यादा होती है और किसी के लिए कम होती है। सो व्हाट आर दोस चैलेंजेस देन? इफ यू कैन अगेन go and type in the comments some of the challenges that you feel are relevant. Waliuddin, that's a very, very, very relevant question. I am going to ask you to hold this, and at the end, we're going to talk about this. Okay? Acha, okay. All right, so there's someone saying that it's okay. There's not a lot written on the slide. You don't have to worry. I'm just asking कि आपको क्या struggle होता है जब आप किसी से बात करने लगते हैं या प्रेजेंट करते हैं या आइडिया शेयर कर रहे होते हैं, तो हमारी जो एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वहां से इज मेजर स्ट्रगल फॉर देम। ठीक है, ऑलराइट, कॉन्फिडेंस। बिफोर today, before the session, not before the session actually, a few days before this webinar, I called Sohail and I said, Sohail, I think this is a mistake. I'm not ready for this. I was having such a panic attack at that point. So confidence, everyone faces it. Muhammad Ali कह रहे हैं language barrier. That's also true. वर्क स्पेस में हमको इंग्लिश में बात करनी है और वैसे हम ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल हमारी उर्दू जबान में होते हैं या मादरी जबान में होते हैं। ऑल राइट अक्सर, दैट्स अ गुड पॉइंट। इंट्रोवर्ट हैं अगर आप, you're shy, or yeah, how interesting, Anna. Difference in mindset. That's true. मोहम्मद वसीम कह रहे हैं कि भाई हम ये कोड क्रैक कर लें कि रेसिपिएंट को चाहिए क्या। दैट्स ट्रू, दैट कुड बी अ स्ट्रगल। नबील सिंह जिससे बात कर रहे हैं, अगर उसका इंटेंशन ही नहीं है आपसे आपकी बात सुनना, तो फिर क्या करें हम? राइट। सो ये बॉस वाले जो मसले हैं जीशान, ये भी हमारी इंटेंशन के ही मसले होते हैं। करेक्ट। other person not paying attention, right? Conflict between, हाँ, right. So difference of opinion है या कोई previous conflict है, so both have a background, and then if you're trying to communicate, then that could be a problem. These are very common problems and very prevalent. All of us face them at one point or the other. That is so true, Mehdi. Vertical communication or reaching up to someone, up in the hierarchy can be such a huge problem. And then you don't know, what words to choose, how to communicate, what medium to pick, कितनी लंबी बात रखनी है, कितनी छोटी. Noman, that is so right. बात करने के लिए जो टाइम सेलेक्ट किया जाए वो ही अगर गलत हो तो selective perception or stereotyping. That's so true, Etazaz. Well, you're a great audience. I think you have such a good perception or understanding of communication in general, and you're very well aware also of the challenges. So that's the starting point. जब भी हम किसी चीज पे या किसी भी ऐसी कोई हमारा स्किल है या हमारी आदत है जिस हम काम करना चाहते हैं, उसका स्टेप नंबर 1 होता है उसको समझना. So I can clearly see that all of you here understand what the problems could be, what the struggles there are that you face. We can definitely work on these, one after the other. But for now, I've mentioned some very common, and mostly all of us face these struggles that we're going to talk about. And then I will give you some tips and techniques that you can use to overcome those struggles or turn them into opportunities, right? So let's talk about the first one. All right. So a lot of you said that you feel anxious. There is lack of confidence. A lot of you also said that you feel shy, right? Uh, or your personality is such that you don't like to talk to a lot of people or talk to certain people, and that's completely fine. That is completely okay. If research suggests कि 86% of the people तो ये accept करते हैं कि जी जब भी हमें कभी किसी audience के सामने बात करना हो या हमारा नाम बोल ले लिया जाए और हमसे हमारा thoughts share करने को कहा जाए, so we feel very anxious. And the rest of the 14% of the people that say that we don't feel anxious and we are always very confident, probably they need to be more self-aware and be a little more vulnerable and accept. क्योंकि आप किसी से भी बात कर लें तो कम्युनिकेशन जब भी कोई करने लगता है या प्रेजेंटेशन देने लगता है, एंग्जाइटी हमेशा महसूस होती है, राइट? सो इसके लिए हम सबसे पहले क्या कर सकते हैं? जो आपकी एंग्जाइटी आपको महसूस हो रही है इन योर बॉडी, जैसे कि आपके पाम स्वेटी हो रहे हैं या आप हल्का सा शिवर कर रहे हैं या हार्ट बीट बहुत तेज हो गई है या आवाज कांप रही है, if you are facing all of this, then it's completely fine. Acknowledge it. Sit with it. हाथ मिलाएं उससे और उसको कहें कि भाई एंजाइटी तुम आ गए हो तो मैं तुमको ग्रीट करता हूँ और 2 मिनट के लिए उसके साथ बैठ जाएं. It's all right to feel it. Allow yourself to feel the anxiety. I have a small exercise that you can do while you're standing, sitting, whatever you're doing. It's a breathing exercise to help you regulate this anxiety. Yeah, to help you bring back that confidence in your voice. I do this very often. जब भी मुझे कभी किसी से बात करनी होती है, किसी के सामने प्रेजेंटेशन देनी होती है या मैं किसी ऐसे मीटिंग रूम में जा रही होती हूँ जहाँ पे मेरे ओपिनियन मांगा भी जाएगा और मैं जो बात कहूंगी उसमें मतलब भी ढूंढा जाएगा, राइट? सो लेट्स एवरीवन टुगेदर विद मी, इफ यू कैन do this breathing activity. For 4 seconds, you're going to inhale. For 7 seconds, you're going to hold your breath. And then for 8 seconds, you're going to exhale through your mouth, right? And I'm going to count here for you. Yeah, hope you can all see me. Yeah, wiggling my fingers. So I'll count for you. We are going to inhale. We are going to hold.
मैम यहाँ पे लाइट चली गई है, मोस्ट ऑफ द अटेंडेंस है ना, लोग इधर उधर हो गए हैं तो
Okay, I'd like you to exhale.
again explain 1 2 3 4
Okay.
what does it mean?
Okay, let me explain to you. Who's this speaking? Zishan. All right, Zishan, let me explain it to you again. It's a breathing exercise. I'm sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so breathing and holding is a bit of a problem for me. But I'll explain it to you. Okay.
Ma'am,
So
we
for
have the issue
four-
of power failure over here. Many.
But can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but distracting.
Okay, wonderful. It's okay. You stay with me, okay? Let everyone do whatever they're doing. Stay with me and listen to this activity, then you can let everyone know about this, okay, later. So for 4 seconds, you're going to breathe in. That means you're going to inhale. For 7 seconds, 8 seconds के लिए उसको exhale करेंगे और अपनी फिंगर से ऐसे करके आप काउंट कर सकते हैं. There is no hard and fast rule. ऐसा नहीं हो कि बिल्कुल सांस बाहर ही नहीं आ रहा हो, 7 सेकंड तक आप होल्ड करें. Don't do that to yourself. You will also do 4 excuse me, 4, right? So you can do 4 4 4 as well. when you begin. And slowly and gradually you bring it to 4, 7, 8. 4, inhale, 7, hold, 8, exhale. And when you do this, instantly your heartbeat is regulated, नॉर्मल पेस पे आ जाती है और आपकी जो आवाज में कपकपाहट है, जो घबराहट आपको महसूस हो रही है आपकी बॉडी में, आप फील कर रहे हैं, वो आप कंट्रोल काफी हद तक कर लेते हैं. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी इफेक्टिव एक्सरसाइज टू एक्नॉलेज योर एंजाइटी एंड हेल्प कंट्रोल इट, राइट. दूसरी जो हमारा अब हम दूसरी जो पॉइंट डिस्कस करेंगे, दैट इज आस्क क्वेश्चंस. जब भी आप बहुत ज्यादा आपको अपने ऊपर स्पॉटलाइट लगती है तो उससे एंजाइटी भी होती है. और हर स्पीकर को, या जब भी आप अपनी कभी बात कर रहे हो, कोई प्रेजेंटेशन डिजाइन कर रहे हो, प्लीज शुरू करते वक्त 1-2 सवाल डाल दें उसके अंदर. उससे होता ये है कि जब आप सवाल डालते हैं तो सारा अटेंशन चला जाता है ऑडियंस पे, और जितना भी ऑडियंस होती है वो फौरन से उस सवाल के बारे में सोचना शुरू कर देती है. And that takes away the attention from you to the audience and helps you settle, feel more comfortable, and then you can, continue with whatever you've planned for the rest of your presentation, या जो भी आप बात करना चाह रहे हैं. अब इसमें आप कहेंगे कि एक नॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन, जैसे कि बॉस से बात करनी है, या तो आप वहां भी जाके एक सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. जिस भी टास्क के बारे में बात करनी है, काम के बारे में बात करनी है, कोई पर्सनल डिस्कशन है, तो आप उनसे जाके सबसे पहले एक सवाल कर लें. ठीक है, जितनी देर में वो आपको उसका जवाब देंगे, आप सिचुएशन को असेस कर लें, उनके मूड को असेस करें. यहाँ पे किसी ने कहा था कि भैया अगर टाइम ही ना अच्छा हो बात करने का, उतना ही लंबा, उतना ही छोटा, उतनी ही करें. ठीक है, भी हम एक प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. एक तस्वीर आ रही है जिसमें बहुत सारी गाड़ियां हैं. How many red cars do you see? Can you quickly go and type in the number? Take your time. Okay, 2 लाल गाड़ियां दिख रही हैं. ठीक है, 8 दिख रही है, 10 दिख रही है, जबरदस्त. 8, 10, 9, जबरदस्त. ये किसको दो गाड़ियां दिखी थी? जिनको 2 गाड़ियां दिखी थी, आई रियली like appreciate your quickness at answering. ठीक है जी. राइट, ठीक है, 10, 9, 7, परफेक्ट. राइट, ऑलराइट देन. सो अच्छा, मुझे अब एक जल्दी से काली गाड़ियां, ब्लैक कार्स, उसका नंबर बताएं. Black cars, anyone? 5. Good. जुनेद 5 कह रहे हैं, अदिति कह रहे हैं 10 काली गाड़ियां दिख रही हैं. इबादुद्दीन को 15 दिख रही है काली गाड़ियां. वाह यार, आपकी बड़ी कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन है. अब्बास कह रहे हैं नो रेड कार. यार अब्बास, आप और मैं एक ही वेबिनार में है ना. ये वाली साइड में आपको रेड कार्स दिख रही है, 17 काली गाड़ी है. अच्छा ठीक है, जबरदस्त. 8, ठीक है, ऑलराइट. अच्छा, पॉज करें जरा, मुझे बताएं कि इसको करने से, इस सवाल को करने से 2-3 क्या चीजें हुई. 106 गाड़ियां हैं. कौन सी? फैजान, काली गाड़ी और लाल गाड़ी पूछी थी मैंने. फैजान, सवाल 106. देयर आर नो रेड कार्स. ओके फाइन, फेयर इनफ, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल. भाई देखें, मजे की बात ये हुई, मुस्तफा पूछे सवाल, मुस्तफा कह रहे हैं सवाल तो सही से पहले पूरा आप बताएं ना, कि पार्शियली काली गाड़ी दिखनी है या जो पूरी काली गाड़ी. बहुत अच्छी बात की है. मिसकम्युनिकेशन, मेहदी कह रहे हैं. हाँ, नुमान कह रहे हैं मेक श्योर आस्क रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन. आप बिल्कुल सही बात कह रहे हैं. एक एक ये जो आपको सवाल पूछने का मेरा मकसद था, उसमें 1-2 चीजें थी. एक तो ये कि टू ब्रिंग योर अटेंशन बैक टू व्हाट वी आर डिस्कसिंग. अब जब मैंने ये आपको दिखाया और सवाल पूछा, इमेजिन करें इसी तरह आपके पास एक ऑडियंस है, आप देख रहे हैं कि थोड़ा सा डिस्ट्रैक्टेड है, या अटेंशन इतना ज्यादा उन्होंने नहीं उनका आपकी बात के ऊपर है, थ्रू अ क्वेश्चन. फन. When can you throw a question? When you're anxious, when you don't want the attention onto yourself, throw a question. When you want people's attention back to the room, throw a question. It could be anything. Yeah. So the attention was diverted. Absolutely, Nabeen, that's correct. See, so when I asked the question, the attention was taken away from me and you all were focusing on the picture and trying to count. So इस तरह के बहुत सारे आप अपनी जो भी डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, जब मैं ट्रेन कर रही होती हूँ एम्प्लॉइज को, तो ऐसे बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज और सवालात और क्वेश्चन जो है वो हाँ पूछते हैं अपनी थ्रू आउट जो प्रेजेंटेशन होती है या बात होती है जो कन्वे करनी होती है उसमें. उसका पर्पस ये होता है कि आप थोड़ी थोड़ी देर बाद एक तो लोगों की अटेंशन वापस ले आए, दूसरा आप अपने से अटेंशन हटा के एक डिस्कशन को इनकरेज करें. राइट. सो यहाँ पे वलीउद्दीन कह रहे हैं कि बॉसेस लाइक आंसर्स नॉट क्वेश्चंस. हाँ, ये आपने अच्छी बात की. इसके बारे में हम फिर कभी बात करेंगे. ठीक है. Now the last thing that I'm going to share with you that helps me and many of my participants to control their anxiety, to feel more confident, is that, ज़्यादा प्रेशर नहीं ले, रिलैक्स करें. ये कोई परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है, आपका फिनाले नहीं है. राइट. डोंट टेक सो मच प्रेशर एंड डेयर टू बी डन. इतना स्ट्रेस देकर अगर आप ये सोचेंगे दिस हैज टू बी द बेस्ट कॉन्वर्सेशन और इफ आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक गो एंड टॉक टू माय बॉस, तो इसका एक आउटकम निकल के आ जाएगा जिससे मेरी जो भी काम मसला है उसका हल निकल आएगा. इतना सारा प्रेशर एक कॉन्वर्सेशन पे नहीं डालें. रिलैक्स करें, जाने दें अगर एक कॉन्वर्सेशन से मायने नहीं वो निकल रहे जो आप निकालना चाह रहे हैं. कीप इट सिंपल. या इट्स ओके. You're doing just fine. It's not a competition. It's not a do or die situation. Not every conversation, not every communication is a do or die. So don't try and make it really fancy or comprehensive and spend a lot of time doing that. Say what you have to and see where it takes you. Right? No audio. All right. Now I'm coming to the second struggle that a lot of us face. There were some people earlier in the thank you Nida for saying that. Please excuse me. Right. So there were a lot of people who said that language is the problem. We don't know how to fluently say what we want to. This is an observation, and it has helped a lot of my participants in the communication trainings that I've delivered, is that look for what your inner voice is. Find it. When I was a child, I had so many ideas. I had so much to talk about. I was always thinking of new ways to solve problems. और बहुत बातूनी थी मैं एज अ चाइल्ड. तो मैं जब भी बात करती थी और मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मेरी बात तो सबको सुननी चाहिए, और सब में कौन होता है, पेरेंट्स होते हैं, टीचर्स थे, कुछ दोस्त थे. जब भी मैं अपनी बात बताने लगती थी और उसका फ्लो बनता ही था तो मेरी अम्मी मुझे कहती थी अच्छा बस करो, होमवर्क किया है तुमने, या बेटे बस करो अभी मुझे ये काम करना है, आप यहाँ से जाओ. राइट. So every time I'd want to share something, I was cut off. I was asked to pause and go because the conversation that I wanted to have, the idea that I wanted to share was not as exciting or was not needed at that time. But nevertheless, what it did for me was that I lost my inner voice. मैं बात कैसे करती हूँ, मेरे बात करने का यूनिक अंदाज क्या है. कल्चरली हमारे यहाँ बच्चों को बहुत ज्यादा बातें करने की इजाजत नहीं होती, ओपिनियन शेयर करने की इजाजत नहीं होती। आप और मैं जो अभी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में काम कर रहे हैं, हमारे लिए ये एक बड़ा कॉमन मसला है, क्योंकि हम ऐसे जो है माहौल में बड़े हुए जहाँ बच्चों की बहुत ज्यादा बात न सुनी जाती है और उनके ओपिनियन को वैल्यू भी नहीं किया जाता। तो आपकी यूनिक वॉइस और मेरी यूनिक वॉइस हमें पता ही नहीं है, लेकिन आप इसको ढूंढ सकते हैं। आप उस पर थोड़ा सा अगर रिफ्लेक्ट करें, सोचें, समझें, तो आप उसके ऊपर काम करके उसको रिफाइन कर सकते हैं। एक बड़ी क्लीशे सी टर्म है जो कि मेरे जो हस्बैंड है, जब भी मैं कोई ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाती हूँ या कभी कोई मेरी कोई प्रेजेंटेशन होती है इंपॉर्टेंट, तो मुझे कहते हैं कि बी योर सेल्फ बिकॉज एवरीवन एल्स इज टेकन। So I would tell you the same thing. Be yourself because everyone is taken. Do not try and copy someone else. Find your own inner voice. अपना यूनिक तरीका जो कम्युनिकेट करने का है उसके ऊपर फोकस करें। उसको आप कैसे फोकस करेंगे? तो अपनी पर्सनालिटी पे, आपकी पर्सनालिटी टाइप क्या है। एक पर्सनालिटी असेसमेंट होता है, डिस्क पर्सनालिटी असेसमेंट, जिसके बारे में हम कभी बाद में डिटेल में बात करेंगे। वो आपको हेल्प करता है आप किस तरह कम्युनिकेट करते हैं, आप किस तरह चीजों को असेस करते हैं, परसीव करते हैं, वर्सेस जिससे आप बात कर रहे हैं वो कैसे करता है। एंड द बेटर यू अंडरस्टैंड इट, द बेटर यू कैन स्ट्रक्चर योर कॉन्वर्सेशन, द बेटर यू कैन कम्युनिकेट। इट्स अ काफी लंबा और डीप डिस्कशन और टॉपिक, और इसकी प्रैक्टिस हम फिर कभी बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. नाउ इज नॉट द राइट टाइम, बट आई लाइक यू टू लुक इनटू इट, व्हाट योर पर्सनालिटी टाइप इज, रेगुलेट योर इमोशंस अकॉर्डिंगली. जिससे बात करने जा रहे हैं उससे बात करने से पहले अपने इमोशंस को जरा चेक कर लें और फिर जाके बात करें. बहुत सारे लोग ने जो चैलेंजेस अपने अभी शेयर किए थे, ये उसके कुछ सॉल्यूशंस हैं that you can work on. And like I said, be yourself. Now this does not happen overnight. आज हमारी ये डिस्कशन हो रही है, मेरी आपसे बात हो रही है, आप सुन रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं पॉसिबल कि कल से आप एक अलग इंसान होंगे और अलग तरीके से बात करेंगे, and you will also be able to find your voice in overnight. That doesn't happen. It's a slow process. Communication, improving it, is a painstaking, slow process. But it's worth it, if you slowly and gradually work on it. So yes, find your inner voice through reflecting, paying attention to how you want to communicate, how you like to communicate, people who you like to listen to speaking, वो कैसे बात करते हैं, क्यों आपको उनकी बात करने का तरीका पसंद है, सोचें इस बारे में और फिर अपना यूनिक बात करने का तरीका डेवलप करें. With that, एक और एक्सरसाइज है जो आपको हेल्प करती है टू ग्राउंड योरसेल्फ बिफोर यू आर स्पीकिंग, गोइंग टू स्पीक टू समवन. सबसे ज्यादा मजा किसी से भी बात करने में तब आता है जब हम जो बात कर रहे हैं वो हम उस बात को खुद भी मानते हैं, खुद भी हमें लगता है कि जो बात हम कर रहे हैं ये सच्ची है, ऑनेस्ट है, इसका इंटेंट करेक्ट है, राइट. So before you go into an important conversation, before you have an important presentation, do something that you enjoy. Yeah. For example, talking to a friend to get the juices flowing, जिस बारे में बात करनी है उसी बारे में बात करनी. Family, right? So before the day of your presentation, spend a good half an hour, 45 minutes or 1 hour with your family. Enjoy your time. Perfect, Naila. So I recommend you this before you have an important meeting, a discussion. Even if you're going to have like a personal conversation with someone, read something. Read a book, pick a book, read a few pages from there, and then you go have that conversation. You will see a huge difference. क्योंकि आपके mind को एक तरह से जैसे it gets the food that it needs to get that conversation going, communicate. Perfect, Nida. I was about to say that. Tea is that for me. I have a cup of tea and I feel like I can talk about anything that needs to be talked about. That's perfect. That is so true, Nabil. That is so true. But it's not always right. You know, I mean, you're right that people who don't talk so much are considered like they're poor at communication. But then those who talk less should be as uh, articulate as they can. So work on being articulate, and you will see people wanting to listen to you and appreciate your. Uh, we are really running out of time here, right? So I'm going to quickly wrap this and talk about comprehension. मैंने जितना भी कम्युनिकेशन पे काम किया है और जितने भी लोगों को ट्रेन किया है उसमें एक बहुत कॉमन मसला है, बहुत बड़ा मसला है कॉम्प्रहेंशन. जो बात मैं कह रही हूँ वो वैसी आप परसीव ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. इसमें जो अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम होता है वो होता है जबान का बहुत बड़ा. I speak in Urdu completely to someone who has just come back after 10 years from living abroad. They will have trouble understanding me. अगर मैं अंग्रेजी में बात करूँ और बहुत मुश्किल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वोकैबुलरी इस्तेमाल करूँ तो हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे लोगों को वो बात समझ आए. तो जबान एक बहुत बड़ा मसला हमारा होता है कॉम्प्रहेंशन में. कोशिश करें उसको बाइलिंगुअल रखें. अगेन, if you want me to talk about language and how it impacts our communication, we can do that separately. Right now we'll talk about starting with why. As soon as you start your conversation, give the person what they want out of the conversation. Tell them clearly why you're having that conversation. What is in it for them? हमें लगता है कि सिर्फ बच्चे हमेशा कंसर्न होते हैं कि उनको क्या चाहिए और उनका क्या मतलब निकल रहा है, but it's human nature. And there's a lot of science behind it also. When you start a conversation with why, then there is a lot of chance that people understand where you're coming from. Yes, another thing that can help you with comprehension is that जब भी आप बात करें तो आपको लगे कि अगले को आपकी बात शायद वैसी समझ नहीं आई, अगले ने जो बात की है वो आपको समझ नहीं आई, तो आप उसी बात को मुख्तलिफ अल्फाज के जरिए से रिफ्रेस करें और उनको वापस कहें और उनसे पूछें क्या आप यही कह रहे हैं. Were you trying to say this? Do you want this out of this what you've just shared? Or questions like, do you want me to help you or just listen to you? Stuff sentences like these help you with the comprehension. Fazila, I'll take the question right at the end. I'm just about to wrap this up. हर communication के session में बात होती है listening की, कि सुने गौर से और attention जो है वो दे to what the other person is saying. But hardly we follow this advice. We do not listen. There is just so much going on. In the next struggle that I'm going to discuss, I will also talk about how listening actively is hampered and how you can work on it and turn it into an opportunity. So I'm going to wrap this up with the last one, which is intrusive thoughts. मैं अभी आपसे जो बात कर रही हूँ, तो I can guarantee that many of you have a lot of thoughts coming in. There is a to-do list that you need to get done with. You are thinking of when this is going to end, when it ends. Then you have another meeting that you need to attend, or what needs to be done over the weekend. आज शाम के क्या plans हैं? तो listening actively एक तो hamper होती है. और जब आप Bali, could you please mention both the questions when I open the floor for questions? And I'm definitely going to answer, and we still have 10 minutes, don't worry. All right. And when you're speaking, you have a lot of these thoughts that come to your mind that stop you from being your fully present self in that conversation. And hence, if you are not fully present in the conversation, then how do you expect the listener to be fully present in the conversation? Right? So get out of your own way, stop thinking what the other person is thinking, ये मुझे जज कर रहा है, मेरी बात तो सेंस ही नहीं कर रही है, बॉस के पास तो बहुत काम है, ये मुझे क्यों टाइम देंगे, so on and so forth. Pay attention, be present in the moment, focus. And I think with that, I'm going to skip this last activity, and we're going to skip to questions and answers, okay? Because I see a lot of you wanting to ask questions. And in this, before we end, while I take your questions, I would want you to please type in your questions or raise your hand, like Fazila has her hand waiting for me to answer. I'm just going to get your question. I would like to first answer Baliwuddin's question. So your first question is, what if the issue is with the recipient? See, what you can do is give a situation your best. आपका एक सर्कल ऑफ कंट्रोल होता है, उसमें आप देखते हैं कि कौन सी चीज आपके खुद के हाथ में है जिसको आप इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं, और कौन सी चीज ऐसी है जो उस सर्कल ऑफ कंट्रोल से बाहर है. व्हेन यू से रेसिपिएंट का मसला है, तो आप अपनी पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि आप उसको अपनी बात में मगन रखें, वो आपकी बात सुने. लाइक आई टोल्ड यू, bring their focus back, ask questions, structure your conversation in a way that interests them. अगर आप एक हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट के पास जाके ये बताएंगे कि जो नई या नया मैनेजमेंट ट्रेनिंग आया है, उसकी ये बिहेवियरल इश्यूज है, उसकी वजह से आपको ये मसला होता है, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू लिसन टू यू. So give them what they want, and they don't have the time. Respect their time. So whatever you can do, unfortunately, we cannot magically make the other person understand, or fix the problems that the other person has. We can only fix the problems that we have, do better in the areas that we can, and hope for the best. And really, it has an impact in the long run. If you continue to speak to them with a good intent, then you will see that they start to receive or acknowledge what you're saying and respond. And your question, the second question was, answers, bosses like answers, they don't like questions. अच्छा, so questions is a way of answering. So अगर आपको कोई आंसर भी देना है ना, तो आप सवाल पूछे और फिर उसी का जवाब दे दें, है ना? तो ये बात आपने बिल्कुल सही कही कि क्वेश्चंस बॉसेस को नहीं पसंद. तो ऐसा मत करें कि बहुत सारे सवालात भी पूछे जाए, या उनको पूछे सर आप बताएं कि हम अपनी सेल्स जो है वो कैसे इंक्रीज करेंगे. ऐसे नहीं, आप ये पूछें कि हम अपनी सेल्स कैसे इंक्रीज करेंगे, and then go ahead and give the answer yourself, right? So question is just a way to get the conversation going, not the, it's not how you should be communicating all the time. हर वक्त हर किसी से सवाल पूछते रहे. अनम कह रही है how to control. अच्छा, I'd like to take Fazila's question. She wants to say something. Fazila, can you unmute and let us know what you're thinking? Hi, Fazila.
Hi.
Hi, Fazila. You have a question, or do you want to share?
Am I
something?
audible?
Very much.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. As I want to ask you that, what is the ideal way to communicate in your office environment with your higher ups and with your subordinates? Number one. And my second question is that how to deal with the toxic people, how to communicate with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fazila. Communicating with your higher ups and juniors both, there are some very basic things. Always be respectful when you're communicating. Focus on why you're having that conversation is extremely important. The last bit that I discussed, why are you having that conversation? Focus on it. Think of a few points that you really want to say in the conversation, and make sure that you say them before the conversation ends. With seniors, keep it short, simple, And always make sure that when you're asking them questions, you've done your bit of, like a background on it. So if they ask you a question in return, then you know what you're talking about, right? And when you're talking to conversation when you're talking to you, it goes a long way, so you can work on communicating that way. And as for your second question, toxicity or toxic people in the workplace, keep it short with them, to the point, whatever needs to be discussed. Do not share more information that needs to be shared, and try and don't catch up on the language that they use. It has a huge impact on your mental health and how you perceive yourself and how you communicate. आपने note किया होगा, जब भी कोई common सा word होता है जो कोई दोस्त बोलता है, तो आप उसको catch कर लेते हैं और वही बोलने लगते हैं. Same happens with negativity or negative words. People are toxic and they're looking down upon other people, or they're choosing language that's degrading people, then you also catch on the language and you also become that person. So avoid and keep it short and simple with them as well, where you set boundaries with your words very clearly, so they do not cross. And if they do, then have a conversation. With toxic people, you either choose to pick the fight or let go of the fight if it's not worth it. And by that I mean, have the conversation or just let go. If you think it's taking too much of your time and you have other things to do. जिस चीज पे फोकस करते हैं वो बढ़ती चली जाती है. Focus on people who are nice. Focus on people who want to progress. Focus on people who want to add to the company, right? All right. And how to improve the culture of the organization. Communication has a huge part to play there, but just give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing and focus on the comments. Thanks for answering to what I'm saying. And then we have kindly share the presentation would be helpful. Well, Sanya is your person. Let's see. Can we get the recording of the session? Let's see. Poor listener. Okay, Zishan is saying poor listener. Is that a question? How to manage poor listeners? That's the problem of the listener. They're poor listeners. They need to work on their listening skills. You need to work on your listening skills. And it's very difficult. With these always in our hand, very difficult to pay attention and listen. Really, at home, at work, put this aside, pay attention to what the other person is saying. Do not assume, do not finish their sentences in your head. Let them speak, let them say what they have to. Yeah. Yes. Kanat, I think that's true. Long conversations that do not have an agenda to them, they do create a lot of mess sometimes. But it depends, if you have a structured conversation, usually when you're having a conversation in a group, there's always one person who is leading and there's one person who's moderating the conversation. यानी कि उसकी जो navigation है वो manage कर रहे होते हैं, handle कर रहे होती है, right? So वो जो लोग होते हैं वो responsible होते हैं उस conversation को, वो किस रुख पे जा रही है, कैसे हो रही है. और जहां तक बात ये है कि conversation start fight and bad behavior, it's not always true. A lot of conversations also are the reason why we have so many great ideas in the organization. And जो एक होता है ना light bulb moment, वो भी बहुत कभी-कभार लंबी conversation से ही निकलता है. So depends on how you're regulating. Yes, indulging in a lot of conversation could be a problem. It depends, but again, it depends on what your approach is, why you're having a conversation. that long with your bosses. All right, then I think these are enough questions for the day.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, Zishan.
I met with one CEO and he said that one time it happened, I'm not agree with you on any point. How you will convince me? I given him many example related communication that, okay, we'll go for the solution. We'll sit together, we discuss which is a better for the company. But still, I don't know what was in his mind. And sometimes people have a different mind. They think that, okay, what we are thinking, everyone should, he give also same suggestion. So this way of communication, what will be the right answer?
See, if you really want to convince this CEO, then you should work hard on what they want to hear. Really work hard on what they want to hear.
No, if I came in any company for interview, in the final interview, and he have the question that, okay, I'm not agree with you on any point, how you will convince me?
Zishan, it's your disalignment of your values and the CEO's values. Do not try to convince people who do not agree with you. I don't know why we are okay with not being treated with respect when we
So
go
what
in.
will be the right answer? What kind of answer I should give that he will be satisfied on this? किसी ने एक पूछा था कि जी आप एक ऐसा जवाब दें कि जी मैं खुश भी ना हूं और वो भी ना, तो वो हुआ था ना कि जी ये वक्त भी गुजर जाएगा. तो इस तरह का क्या आंसर होना चाहिए जिसमें both parties will be satisfied कि जी हाँ मैंने भी सही जवाब दिया और he also satisfied.
It completely depends from situation to situation. If someone is, you cannot, I mean, I have to really assess what situation you were in and how it happened. But I can give you general, वो जो होती है, कुछ tips हैं जो आप ले सकते हैं. Is one, if someone's not being respectful, especially when you go in for an interview or you're talking to a CEO of an organization that you ideally would really want to work for, and they do not agree with what you have to say, then, I congratulate you. There you go. In the interview, that's not going to be a good choice for you. Why do you want to convince people who do not agree with what you have to say or the experience that you have to share? At the same time, आप अपनी बात के कहने के तरीके को बदल सकते हैं. उसके बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं. Zishan, I'd like you to connect with Sanya or Seher there, and we can talk about this in detail, and then maybe I'd be able to answer you in a more comprehensive manner, because I don't know the full situation. But in my opinion, respect is both ways. Right? No matter what position you are.
Definitely.
And in a conversation, it is so important to be respectful. If someone's
it was
in
respectable manner, but
right.
He always says me, okay, what I think is you are not catching that how you convince me. Then I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand finally.
Right, Zishan. We can talk about this. Maybe you can connect with, and we can have a discussion on this. I'd love to speak with you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you all joining in, taking out the time, listening to the session.
Thank you so much, Mazna.
Speaking with you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazna. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It was a great session indeed. And we'll have more like these in future, inshallah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Allah Hafiz.